While the entire world is still watching and waiting for what's going to happen next in Russia, the Ukraine, or possibly Canada, Floridians are still waiting for that La Palma volcano tsunami to come wipe us off the map. Like all of the real truther community said was going to happen. Because they saw it on Nat Geo or History or Discovery Channel, it was a virtual lock, and it was a bad idea to live in Florida because we were going to be completely submerged by 2027 because of the Navy map. It never happened. It never happened because those people who make warnings like that don't think. They just assess their feelings and then go with that. Speaking of that, this will be the last point I make about the series Colony, at least here on the public YouTube channel. The entire point I was trying to make got missed by 99% of the people who saw the images. In the story, there are two sisters. One is supposed to be the heroine and the good guy, so to speak, and the other is supposed to be the evil one, the bad one. Well, the good one ends up dragging her kids to live in a sewer and then out in the woods, and one of them gets killed. The bad sister ends up taking care of the one child she has, and even though she makes a decision that didn't feel good at the time, it ended up being the right decision because she used her head, not her heart. And that's what all this was about. In a grid down situation, you're going to have to learn how to use your head, not your heart. If you would like to learn how to do that, we teach psychological operations over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel for the less than bargain price of $1 per month. I have to charge that to put it behind a paywall, so that we can speak openly with the gloves off. Everybody there has to make a conscious choice to be there. There's no chance of any of my Patreon videos ending up in anybody's newsfeed accidentally, and anybody, by the off chance, getting offended at what they might see. We talk about the 24 cognitive biases, 24 logical fallacies. People are going to look back at what's going on in Canada, and they're going to ask themselves, what were we thinking? To which the only proper reply is, you weren't. You were only feeling. Now, of course, the initial emotional reaction to that statement will be down in the comments section. It will be the people saying, oh, I get it, monkey, you're against liberty. See, that's an emotional reaction without thought. You see, this accomplished nothing, and it's actually illogical. First of all, the group of truckers that are staging this temper tantrum are the minority. 90% of them are vaccinated. And of course, they're protesting the mandatory vaccination. But what if I told you, I predicted this? The Florida Maquis put up a video, 16 October 2021. Now, it only got 9,000 views, but I talked about an event, fictitious event, that was the basis of a song. And it was a protest song from back in the 70s from C.W. McCall called Convoy. I'm sure a lot of my older audience will remember this, pardon me. And in this video, and I'll give you the link, I talk about how when the left gets a hold of something, they ruin it. The trucking industry prior to the 70s was the domain of cowboys. It was open road, it was free, it was very romantic, but it had a drawback to it. Sometimes you'd make that load and get that bonus, and sometimes you wouldn't. There were no health insurance plan, no guaranteed days off. A lot of these trucks were in horrible states of repair. and getting them fixed wasn't cheap. Sometimes you had downtime, but it was the whole idea of being completely free. Han Solo was actually a space trucker, so to speak. And then there was the movie, of course, from Star Wars, Smokey and the Bandit. And that was, of course, about running illegal cargo across lines in Arkansas and Texas. It was very romanticized. Now, Canada, and this is why this is quizzical to me, has been bragging about its socialist nature for a long time and looking down their nose at Americans for not being as socialist as they are. But now they're throwing a temper tantrum. It's very, very odd. But I'll give you the link to this. 16 October 2021, prophecy alert, 43 years ago, supply chain irreparably damaged. This collapse was foretold. And having been a trucker myself at one time in the past, I can speak to this about what they tell you it is versus what it really is. This was a chart I put up from 2015 that shows how dangerous that job is. But some say, Florida Maki, we get your opinion on all of the social issues of the day. Why can't you just go back to Antarctica? Why can't you talk about the Stargate network? Well, I get a lot of complaints for a lot of reasons. For example, girls in bikinis, girls in tank tops. You see, in Stargate Atlantis, there's an episode where this particular character, Colonel, at this point, Samantha Carter, played by the actress Amanda Tapping, appears in somewhat less than this military tank top picture here. So I would probably get crap for that too, no matter what I did. And some said, Florida Maki, why have you given up on Antarctica? Well, it's real simple. They're making a mockery of my work, and YouTube is colluding with bigger channels to make a mockery of my work. Some people might say that's an overstatement. Oh, they're not picking on you, Maki. Really? Really? This is an image that I found years ago. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen the image? You have to zoom in to about 200 feet above the surface to pick this up. Here it is enhanced. And this is an actual image that you can find on the surface of Antarctica using Google Earth Pro. But you've got to zoom in to find it. I've spent countless thousands of hours doing this. Now, here's that video where I uncover it. It's from 26 March 2020. It's going on 2 years old. Almost 2 years old. 23,000 views. Some might say, wow, Maki, 23,000 views, that's better than a lot of people get. I have 130,000 subscribers. 23,000 views. Let me show you what YouTube is actually promoting. UFO Sightings Daily has only 60,000 subscribers, less than half of my total of subs. Puts up a video 8 days ago of an iceberg. It's just an iceberg. Everybody who looks at it, it's just an iceberg that's been sheared off. Makes the allegation that it's some type of a submarine. I still don't see it. But what do we see? 90,205 views in 8 days. In 8 days. Versus actual real finds. 2 years later, only 23,000. You think that's the only channel? You think that's a one-off? This is Mr. MBB333. Now, this is from 7 August 2020. So this is a little bit older. 17 months-ish, ballpark. 1,000,000 92,665 views. Looking down from an altitude of about 1,100 feet, looking at a somewhat kind of strangely shaped iceberg, and calling it a boat. Calling it a boat. Look at this image, and this image versus that. And this, of course, isn't the only one. I've found dozens and dozens and dozens of images. And when I put up a video, it gets no traffic. I've shown moai heads, the face of a simian, 5 or 6 clear defined skulls, the shadow of a castle, clear open entries into the ice that looked like they were carved, pyramids. I found an obelisk. I've even found crashed saucer craft, what looked like crashed advanced US or other entity craft, evidence of ships, statuary, carving, even the bases of buildings. And they won't do anything but promote things like this or things like this. So yeah, I give up. Most people would. And to give you an idea, I use this image of Florida all the time. This is from a camera height of 1,300 kilometers. Let me show you what 1,000 feet is. Well, this is about 86 kilometers right here. And this is just the Big Bend area of Florida. My search grids that I look at are about this big. This is 1,000 meters right here. This is 1,000 meters, and that's a whole grid. To find the things that I find, you have to get down to 200 feet. This is 150 meters. So the things that I'm showing take forever to find. Hours and hours and hours to find. So, just saying, if this is what gets the views, this is what I'm going to do. Sorry, ladies, it's just the way it goes. And if you think it takes a bikini to make a man's heart skip a beat, I would just refer you to the Patriot Nurse. I've never seen her in anything remotely not appropriate for going to church, ever. And every guy out there, other than the ones who are lying, will tell you she'll make your heart skip a beat. She's a beautiful woman. So it doesn't take this. It doesn't take this. But this is what gets people clicking. We're still waiting, by the way, for your truth to come to pass. Many people said, Florida Maquis, why aren't you talking about La Palma? Why aren't you talking about La Palma? Because it was bunk. It's taken 7 months to prove it, but it might take another 7 months to prove this to be bunk too. A fool's errand. Some might ask the question, golly, it must be nice to be able to just quit doing your job and live off donations. Sounds a little like socialism, doesn't it? Living off the backs of other people, sending in money. Oh, that's right. They're even seizing the crypto now. Something to think about. Psychological operations, learning how to think and not feel every single thing. 24 logical fallacies, 24 cognitive biases. I'll leave it there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.